also take you off the bounce. This is a team that averages 19 assists a game. Share the ball, share the wealth.
Baylor has won 6 in a row in conference play to improve to 6-1 in the Big 12. TCU is 7-1 in the Big 12. And a loud, rowdy crowd here on a Sunday afternoon in Texas as we're ready to go. Baylor and TCU. Opening tap controlled by the Frogs. They go to work. Van Lith runs the point.
See Baylor picking up in man-to-man. Key to keep an eye on Aaron Von Lay playing defensively against Sedona Prince inside.
Lost out of bounds in an early turnover for TCU, averaging 11 turnovers a game. They do a good job of taking care of the basketball as Baylor will have their first possession.
TCU also starting out in a man-to-man defense. And again, keeping an eye on that big-to-big matchup here.
Vonleh takes it at Prince. Can't get it to go, and Prince has the rebound. Van Lith shut off by Vonleh. Finds Prince. Vonleh straight up and down. Good job defensively in the fight for the rebound. Lost out of bounds. Would be TCU basketball.
And Eric, we talked about the importance of the pick and roll for TCU with Sedona Prince and Haley Van Lith. Well, that's also important for Vonleh and how she's going to defend it. And that time she helped on Haley Van Lith, did a really nice job, then recovering to Prince as well.
Van Lith playing in career game and making career starts, number 156 today. Walker got there defensively. 2 trips, 2 turnovers for TCU. Baylor trying to make them pay. The mid-range no good from Dariana Little Page Bugs. And here come the Frogs.
Nikki Collin was talking to us before the game about the importance of playing fast, hoping that they can wear out the shorter bench of TCU.
Andrews fighting for it, and another turnover by TCU. 3 trips, 3 turns for the home Frogs. Here is Nikki Collin now in her 4th season at Baylor. 4 wins against top 10 teams, most recently taking on number 1 UCLA in Newark on Monday at the Coretta Scott King Classic. Lost by 15. They fell behind by 15 in the opening minutes of that game. Noah Fauntleroy. Sarah Andrews averaging better than 11 points a game. Andrews, that's her game to pull up. That won't drop. And into the hands of Haley Van Lith. Prince, outstanding shooter. Connor got hammered by Fauntleroy. And Madison Connor will go to the line to shoot 3.
Madison Connor is a terrific 3-point shooter. She's shooting 46% on the season. Look how quickly she gets her feet set, catches, and gets the ball out of her hands. But you do not want to foul a 3-point shooter there.
We talked quite a bit about Prince and Van Lith, rightly so, but Connor should not be forgotten, averaging better than 15 points a game. No one has made more threes in Division I basketball than Madison Connor this season.
And what's the best compliment to a dynamic pick and roll duo is the spacer and a really good shooter, and Connor provides that.
85% from the free throw line, and TCU's on the board. Fauntleroy. Baylor off the mark in the early going. 0 for their first 4 from the field. Van Lith and Prince will go to work.
Really well done by Haley Van Lith. Defender gets caught on the screen. She just steps behind it and drains the 3.
So after the early turnover problems, 6 unanswered points for TCU. Vonleh. Walker. Not much happening right now for Baylor offensively against this TCU defense. Prince leads the country in block shots. Sees a presence on the inside. The shot clock down to 4. And Van Lith gets called for the foul on the Walker drive.
High pick and roll usage, and Haley Van Lith, it's up to her to read it. And when the defender goes behind or gets caught on the screen, she can just step behind and drain the 3. part of that is just she has so much experience playing 3x3 basketball, and it's high pick and roll, and she's really excelled at learning how to use those screens and how to read what the defense is doing.
Feels that summer job of winning a bronze medal with Team USA in 3-on-3 really carried over to what she's doing right now for TCU, according to head coach Mark Campbell.
According to Haley Van Lith as well, I was talking to her before the game, and she just talked about how much that has helped her, and you see how the usage that she has in the pick and roll here at TCU.
Vonleh, how about TCU's defense here in the opening minutes? They are locked in against Baylor, and a great defensive play by Agnes Emanopu. Connor, rare miss for her. Emanopu, who's so good on the offensive glass, kept it alive, and a second chance here for TCU. They make the most of it. Timeout called by Baylor. TCU had trouble with turnovers in the opening minutes, but now they are getting it done on the defensive end, turning it into offense, and out to a 9-0 run in the opening minutes here in Fort Worth. 3-4 Baylor, 71-50. TCU actually had a lead in the third quarter, but Baylor went on a 31-4 run. Prince had 20 and 10 in that game, but in the end, another win in this series for Baylor, 37 in a row. You have to go back to February 28th of 1990, the last time TCU beat Baylor in this series.
I was a junior in high school. What were you doing in February of 90?
February of 1990, I'd rather not say, because I definitely was out of high school at that point. There's inside look, another great job defensively. Prince has been a difference maker on the defensive end, and a foul's going to be called on Fauntleroy in the scramble for it. 0 for 6 right now for Baylor from the floor.
And what's the play to come out of the break is to get Bella Fauntleroy coming across, posting up, but Sedona Prince able to get over and clean up the mess, blocking the shot.
And then in the battle for the loose ball, locking up with Connor there, Fauntleroy picks up her second personal foul, so she goes to the bench now here in the first quarter. Yaya Felder comes on off the TCU turnover. That's their fourth. Here's Walker, defended by Van Lith. Felder for Vonleh. Walker, another mid-range shot. This one finally drops for Baylor after missing their first 6 field goal attempts.
So Walker's really good when she get into rhythm with the dribble on the mid-range, so finally get one to fall.
Prince trying to feed Van Lith, who touched it last. Turnover number 5 for TCU.
And Jada Walker can get into her rhythm and does it off the dribble, the handoff first from Vonleh, and then steps into it. They live and lift right there.
Felder got caught in no man's land, but got it back out to Vonleh. Walker will try again. One and done for Baylor, and here comes TCU. Bigby. Shut off by Vonleh. Felder tries to sell a charge. Faking being foul warning given to Baylor. And a turnover, another turnover for TCU. Those of you just joining us here in Fort Worth, Texas, Eric Freed, Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, opening 5 minutes gone by. TCU on top of Baylor, 9-2. Baylor has struggled shooting in these opening minutes against a very stingy TCU defense. TCU has lost the last 37 meetings against the Bears, but what has stood out to you in the opening minutes here, Rebecca, between these two Texas rivals?
Well, right now, Baylor's inability to get any shots to fall. They have a lot of field goal attempts. They forced TCU into 6 turnovers already. This TCU team that typically takes care of the basketball.
Emanopu knocks down the 324th made 3 of the season for the grad. take a look at who's on the floor right now for Baylor. Brought to you by Toyota. Sarah Andrews, veteran for this team in her 5th year. Dariana Littlepage Bugs leading the team in scoring and rebounding. And Erinette Vonleh in her first season with this Baylor team after playing the last 2 years at Colorado gets on the board.
And Toyota, who's not on the floor right now for TCU, is Sedona Prince. And what the last 2 possessions, Baylor has gone into Vonleh to see if they can now take advantage of that.
I like how you audibled there. Who's not on the floor? I don't think that's the sponsored element, though. It's who's on the floor, and you see who is out there right now for TCU with the big for TCU on the bench. Prince, who's gone for 20 or more in each of the last 6 games. Great defense again by TCU. Van Lith out of transition. And a good read by Felder. Yet another turnover for TCU, and Felder will go in. 7 turnovers in the first 7 minutes for TCU.
A team that typically takes really good care of the basketball, averages only 11 turnovers per game on the season.
First points for Felder, averaging 11 a game. Baylor is a team that has 5 players averaging in double figures this season. They've won 6 in a row in Big 12 play. Connor off the mark. And the rebound for the leading rebounder for the Bears, Littlepage Bugs. Andrews will step into a 3. Off the mark. This is a very good rebounding team in Baylor. So they get a second chance here. Excellent on the offensive boards, especially.
Baylor a few different times has had size advantage on the TCU guards and has posted them up and had not been able to score off of that.
Van Lith showing the handle.
Thought she had a lane right to the basket.
Instead kicks it outside, and Eminoku heating up. She was 0 for 7 from the floor in the most recent game for TCU. That was a loss to Oklahoma State. But she's locked in here in the first. 2 for 2, both her threes. Knocked away by Aaliyah Robertson.
We're seeing what TCU likes to do. They're a pace and space type of team, and they share the basketball, get some dribble penetration, Haley Van Lith, then pass back outside. They are always looking to see if they have somebody open on the perimeter.
20 assists a game for TCU. That's good for 2nd in the conference, 5th in Division I. And that 1-2 punch is together on the floor again right now in Van Lith and Prince, who's back on the floor. Prince anchors the defense. The leading shot blocker in the country rejects Felder. And then she ran up on Felder, and it's going to be lost out of bounds by Baylor. TCU basketball.
I understand the desire, if you're Baylor, that you might want to go in and see if you can get a foul on Sedona Prince, but at some point you might also have to realize the shot blocker's there.
There's Mark Campbell in his 2nd season now as the TCU head coach. 40 wins, his 4th overall after success at Sacramento State, turning around that program. And TCU comes in with a 19-2 record, 7-1 in the Big 12, tied atop the standings with K-State. Baylor even in the loss column with a 6-1 record. And this is what you come to expect in this Texas showdown between TCU and Baylor. Players on the floor.
Really good help side defense by Baylor right here, because they had TCU was going with their horn set, high usage set for them, and they try to force the ball into Sedona Prince. But again, good help side defense from Baylor.
Nikki Collins said her team has been very good after losses this season. They're coming off a loss non-conference against #1 UCLA in Newark on Monday. Got off to a slow start here today, trying to settle things down here in Fort Worth. Aaliyah Matharu. Matharu kicks it. Walker can't get the 3.
Outstanding box out by Haley Van Lith on that possession. She doesn't come up with the board, but helped her teammate get the board.
Donovan Hunter off to Sedona Prince. Approaching 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. Prince gets it back from Van Lith. Littlepage Bugs rips it down for Baylor. Here's Matharu on the drive. Thinks better of taking it to the basket because Prince was there, so she'll go outside and knock it down for 3. Aaliyah Matharu, who was eligible on New Year's Day after joining this program from Florida, gets her first points, averaging 5 a game. Walker trying to stay in front of Van Lith, and Walker gets called for the foul.
Did you see Walker, though, shift her feet when Haley Van Lith did the jab step left? Because, of course, Van Lith is lefty. You want to keep her from going there. Walker jumped big time over on the fake.
But Walker picks up her first personal. She'll head to the bench. Trying to get personnel right here as Sarah Andrews checks into the game. Madison Connor will check in for TCU. 37 wins in a row for Baylor. You asked Mark Campbell about that before the game, and they're aware of it. I think there'll be quite the celebration if they could finally pull off a win over Baylor for the first time since 1990. Off to a good start here in the first. On the take, won't drop down from Connor. Final 20 seconds. Felder wasting no time to get to the basket for two. Foul is going to be called on Felder in front of the Baylor bench.
Ricky Collin thought that was an offensive foul when the whistle was first blown.
Brian Garland disagreed. Here's Van Lith with 7. Van Lith kicks it over to Big B. Big B with 1, doesn't realize that time is winding down, and that's the end of the first quarter.
Baylor finding some life in their offense, getting out in transition. Yaya! Felder getting it done.
You nailed it.
Beautifully with one another, and most of it is in the pick and roll, and you can see leading Division I scorer sister duos. I mean, that's Haley coming off those on-ball screens from Sedona Prince and then finding her, and this is their first year ever playing with one another. They're never on a USA basketball team together, and they've just been able to click and make it all work.
It helps that they're two of the most experienced players. Now they try to reverse things. Prince trying to feed Van Lith, and Baylor blew it up defensively. Prince will turn 25 this year, and Van Lith 24, so they are very experienced players. Great finish by Baylor, a chance for a three-point play to get things going here in the second quarter. Sarah Andrews in the and one.
Yeah, great job. Just probing on the left side, driving in, absorbing a little bit of contact from Connor.
Andrews averaging 11 points a game, unable to finish off the three-point play. She is the most experienced Baylor player. This is career game number 153 for her, all with the Bears. Which it seems very unique in this day and age that somebody is with one team their entire career. There's Felder with the steal, back the other way for the Bears, kicking it to the corner from Matharu, who hit earlier.
Von Lay had Haley Van Lith on her, and they weren't able to get it to her in the post.
Felder. Back out top, and a reset here for Andrews with 9 to shoot. Andrews with the floater, tried to get it off before Prince could get a hand up there, and a rebound for Big B. Big B's got the big on her, Von Lay.
Which means Prince has a little on her.
TCU's had great success from outside the three-point line. Agnes Emanopu is 3 for 3 on threes. Vonleh 1 and done as Prince gets the rebound.
I mean, Sedona Prince has blocked multiple shots, but she has also affected a number of shots already just by her length and presence in the paint.
Here's Prince. Throws it up against Vonleh. Can't get it. Gets her own miss and puts it in for 2. First points for Sedona Prince. 9-point lead for TCU. Their largest lead in the first quarter was 11. Matharu. Little Page bugs on the offensive glass. And Andrews with the reset. Andrews, a little hesitation, takes it at Sedona Prince and 1.
What a beautiful take there by Andrews. She came off the ball screen. TCU plays drop coverage, and so the mid-range shot could be there. She hesitates just long enough to get the defender upright and gets by the shot blocker. Really beautifully done.
Foul was called on Emanopu. her first, and Andrews will go to the line to try to finish off the three-point play. Coming up tomorrow, big showdown, South Carolina and Tennessee, top 20 matchup on Rocky Top, 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2. That's out of bounds, and it'll be TCU basketball. You were courtside Friday to see South Carolina and LSU. What'd you think about South Carolina?
I don't know that there's a better defensive team in the country than South Carolina. In that game, they were on point, and Don Staley wasn't thrilled with some of their offensive possessions, but they played stifling defense. We all know how deep their roster is. They are really just wear teams down on both ends of the floor.
They've got LSU's number, their 17th consecutive win over the Tigers. A foul on the drive by Emma Nopu, and a trip coming for the grad student.
Just so much space. When you have three-point shooters around the perimeter, it just leaves room in the lane for a player to go in and attack the rim. Able to do that there and get to the free throw line.
Emanopu was scoreless against Oklahoma State, did have 11 rebounds, but was 0 for 7 from the field. And she's off to a great start here in the first half for TCU. First player in double figures with 10, now 11.
Such a good rebounder from the guard position as well. 5'11", but she attacks the glass.
Jada Walker back on the floor. Abraham tries to set a screen. Walker trying to get around Van Lith, and Van Lith gets whistled for her second personal foul. She'll stay on the floor with the 2 and 7:07 to go in the second quarter. Fauntleroy on the floor with 2 personal fouls. Walker to the basket.
Baylor's really having some nice success now, attacking the basket, getting into the paint off of ball screens.
Looked early in that first quarter, they were settling for a lot of mid-range shots because of the Prince factor.
Yeah.
Maybe they've kind of settled into this game a little bit and been a little aggressive. Prince will try it from inside the free throw line, won't drop. Look who's on the glass, Van Lith. Will head to the line to shoot a couple.
Sedona Prince, very capable of making that mid-range jumper, and Haley Van Lith, another guard who is very good getting to the glass, and here surrounded, draws the foul, gets to the free throw line.
When you and I were going back and forth talking about this game, we're like, how long have we been saying the name Haley Van Lith? Because from the moment she stepped on campus at Louisville, she's been a factor. She's a key part of those teams that went deep in the NCAA tournament. Then last year at LSU, another trip to the Elite Eight after she had done that with Louisville, and hoping to lead TCU deep into the NCAA tournament this year.
The only name we've been saying longer is Sedona Prince.
That's right. Andrews again on the take, but off the miss, and Andrews is back behind the play as TCU pushes it. Kanisha Godfrey appearing in her 13th game this season on the floor right now for TCU.
We got to hit Prince there.
She'll pop out. As Rebecca mentioned, she can hit that shot. She shows it there.
It's pretty. Hey, she's got that mid-range. She does have range out to 3. She's also an excellent passer from the post position.
Back to an 11-point lead for the Frogs. Andrews, wide open look for 3. Got it. Sarah Andrews, the leader in threes made and threes attempted for this Baylor team. Walker doing all she can to keep it out of Van Lith's hands, and Van Lith still got to look for 3. Prince got on the glass and put it back in.
That was really nice by Prince. Instead of going up and fading on the shot, that high extension hook shot finish.
Fauntleroy can't hit from outside the arc, and now Van Lith.
He talked about the last possession, and Nikki Collin was saying once Haley Van Lith gives the ball up, we got to prevent her from getting it back. Walker did an outstanding job last possession of that.
Van Lith and Prince go to work together, and then the blow-by Haley Van Lith for 2 more.
He just keeps probing, and especially if she can get back to her strong left hand.
Largest lead for TCU, 9 for Van Lith. Walker answers back. Inside of 5 to play, first half. Van Lith looking for Prince. Rejected, picked up by Prince though, and put back in.
Sedona Prince has been really active offensively, especially on the glass. When she wasn't getting a lot of looks early, she got herself involved that way, and then we've also seen it in the mid-range.
Andrews takes it at Prince, can't get it. Rebound on the offensive glass by Abraham, and a second chance opportunity, and Matharu puts down her second 3.
And that's where you get the best looking 3-point shots, is often offensive rebound where the defense is scrambling. Really well done that time by Baylor.
Baylor's outstanding on the offensive glass, #1 in the Big Ten in offensive rebounds a game. They're 6th in the country in rebounding margin. Connor's been quiet. Can't hit 3.
Kyler Abraham has had some really nice minutes here for Baylor.
Walker. Matharu. Kick back outside to Andrews for a deep 3. Out of the scramble again, a 3-pointer for Baylor.
Just keep the ball alive on the offensive glass, and if you can get one of your teammates to corral it and find a shooter on the perimeter, you're going to get a really good look.
Andrews is 2 for 3 from beyond the arc after being cold the last 3 games. Big Big 12 showdown here in Fort Worth. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Durham, and then Curtis Jones and 3rd-ranked Iowa State take on Arizona in a Big 12 showdown. Both teams 7-1, tied for 2nd in the Big 12. Jones went for a career high 33 against Arizona State on Saturday. Slow start for Sedona Prince, but she's coming on strong here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, certainly has. And here we go. They're giving the ball right to her off a ball screen, and that's a shot she's capable of making. She's 6'7", using her handle like that, coming off the left side. By the way, how cute was that little girl in the tutu dancing while you were doing the promo?
I leave you to analyze the basketball and the cute tutus while I'm doing the business.
Man, when you have daughters and they start to get older, you just have there's too few tutus in your house now.
Too few cute tutu moments left in the house.
Yes, yes.
Closing it on 2 minutes. I almost went there again. Here's Prince. Connor, the 3-point threat.
Yes.
But she's a willing passer as well, especially when it's Prince rolling to the basket.
There's been a couple times where Sedona Prince has rolled and they have not delivered it to her that time. Beautifully executed by Connor. Get it to her. Prince has patience, able to finish.
Looking for Vonleh. Can she do some work against Prince? She's determined to try to score here. Leans in. Prince stands her ground and gets the rebound.
Yeah, Vonleh has not had any success when she's caught the ball with her back to the basket, and Prince has been her defender.
An elite 3-point shooter. If Madison Connor has any daylight, most likely it's going down. Made threes on the season. That leads Division I. Felder off the mark. Hunter will settle it down. Van Lith on the bench right now, 2 fouls. But for the moment, TCU not missing a beat. Connor. I think Prince got a little indecisive there if she was supposed to roll to the basket or stay out deep, and a turnover again for TCU. And That's what's keeping Baylor in the game, those TCU turnovers, because Baylor, good rebounding teams, getting pounded on the boards, but those turnovers have turned into points for the Bears.
And often points for Sarah Andrews. She's the one keeping Baylor in this game right now with her ability to hit from deep.
13 points to lead all scorers. She's knocked down 3 of 4 3-point attempts. Big B fouled by Vonleh.
Talk so much about the TCU pick and roll, and whether it involves Haley Van Lith or one of her teammates, Prince is going to roll. Connor delivers, then the patience. All right, you catch the ball as a big. There's a defender there, but this defender's not 6'7". So she takes her time, Prince does, and just goes up and finishes.
Prince, impact player last year, averaged just under 20 and 10 last season. Van Lith back in the game. Final minute, TCU back to a 10-point advantage. Down to 8 seconds. Walker uses the Abraham screen. Walker too strong, and a tie-up with 1.2 to go, and possession arrow will keep it with Baylor, so a chance here for the Bears to score before halftime.
Yeah, if you're Baylor, though, with 1.2 on the clock, you'd probably rather have the possession of the ball to start the second half with that jump ball, unless, of course, you score here.
1.2 under your own basket. Sarah Andrews has a chance here. Inbound it. She could catch and have time to put something up. Instead, it'll be Felder who launches, and that will be it. Rebecca Lobo's right again. It'll be TCU ball to start the second half. It was a great start for TCU. They had a little trouble with turnovers, but got going, never trailed in the first half. And the lead is 10 in this top 25 showdown in the Big 12 on a Sunday. Had 9 in the first half for TCU. Prince had 10 to go along with 7 rebounds. Van Lith with 12 and 11 points for Emma Nopu. She was 3 for 3 from outside the arc. 30-0 at home when leading at half. 18-1 this season. That one was the last game. TCU was up on Oklahoma State at halftime. They let it get away and ended up losing to Oklahoma State 60-59. They had a 15-point lead at halftime. It's been an issue the last 3 games before this one for Mark Campbell's team. They led by 15, 21, and 15. They won 2 of those games, but were outscored in the second half. The point differential, a minus 35 for TCU. So second half has been an issue for TCU.
Yeah, he said they've taken their foot off the gas in the second half. I'm certain that that's one of the things. I'm not certain, but I would assume that that's one of the things he talked to them about it at half of this one.
You've seen enough games and you've been in enough locker rooms to know you can be certain of that one. Knocked out of bounds. Last touched by TCU Baylor basketball.
But I never like it when the announcer says they're certain of something when how could they possibly be? And since he didn't tell me that, I would just imagine. I would imagine that that was said.
So there's nothing you would say with certainty? That
about
seem like
about something that somebody
were
said?
You not present? Okay.
Correct.
Not me. I'll throw out some guesses. Turnover on the first possession for Baylor.
I feel like Aaron Vonleh has just been uncomfortable whenever Sedona Prince has been on the floor with her, guarding her. We just saw the turnover from the high post area. When Prince was out for a short time and Vonleh got touches, she just had a different comfort level about her.
Vonleh is no rookie. Last 2 years at Colorado. Prince kept that one alive, ripped it away, leans in for 2. Jada Andrews looking for the foul, and there was a whistle, and it's going to be a foul on Andrews.
When Sedona Prince was getting that offensive board, Haley Van Lith was open at the 3-point line and letting her know that she was available out there, but Prince smartly sees that she doesn't really have size between her and the basket, so just goes straight up with it.
Point lead for the Frogs. Here's Walker. 2 fouls on her. Little Paige Buggs, the leading scorer for this Baylor team at 14 points a game, did not score in the first half. Walker against Van Lith, and Walker tried to feed it to Little Paige Buggs. That's 2 turnovers here in the second half for Baylor. Remember, they had 1 in the first half.
That's also really good defense by Haley Van Lith because Walker is explosive and quick. Van Lith able to keep her in front of her.
offensive foul. That's 3 on Haley Van Lith.
Van Lith likes to go left and attack the basket, and just a good job by Baylor stepping in. Did she establish position? Hard to tell.
Leroy?
Yeah.
Official said so.
I know, but they're not always right.
Here's Sarah Andrews, who had the hot hand in the first half for Baylor. Van Lith stays on the floor with the 3 fouls.
I can say with certainty that the officials aren't always right.
That's where I was going to go. You knew it. You cut me off on that one. Lay from outside, not finding anything to her liking on the inside, trying from the outside, and Little Paige Bugs will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple.
Little Paige Bugs got in there. She was the only Baylor player attacking the glass, surrounded by 4 TCU players, and still able to come up with the basketball.
So Vonleh will come out, and Abraham comes on. The foul on Bigby, her second. And Little Paige Bugs to the line.
I thought Abraham was really, really good in the first half with her size, getting to the glass defensively.
Coming up Wednesday, NBA doubleheader. Nuggets and Knicks get it going at 7:30, and then it's the Thunder and the Warriors NBA countdown tips the coverage. 7 Eastern time on ESPN. After the quiet first half, Little Paige Bugs on the board here in the second half. Connor. Prince rolls to the basket. Great work with Connor and Prince together.
Yeah, there was definitely defensive miscommunication by Baylor for Prince to end up so wide open.
Walker goes to her offhand, can't get it to drop, and Prince has the rebound. That's her 9th. Leroy recovered to knock it away from Prince. 18 to shoot.
You know what else I can say with certainty? It is really hard to see the action on the left side of the floor. Mark Campbell is standing right in front of us. Screen, re-screen. Madison Connor has become better over the course of time here at TCU in terms of delivering out of the pick and roll. Assist numbers way up in conference play from last year.
Now, Mark is active. You can hear him, you can see him. You can see him, right?
He's not a broad dude, but when he stands right in front of me,
he sets good screens.
He sets incredible screens.
Here's Connor. Connor for 2.
That was a really nice step back going to her left to create that separation. I did see that.
Andrews with the step back for 3. No, Prince has the rebound. Double-double for Sedona Prince now with 15 and 10. That's her 10th double-double this season. 26th of her career. Van Lith. Prince leans in. No. Little Paige Bugs with the rebound, and here comes Baylor. Here's Walker. 6.5 to go in the third quarter. Good start to this second half for this TCU team that struggled after halftime in the last 3 games. Keeping the defensive intensity turned up. 5 on the shot clock. Walker has to try a deep 3. Easy rebound for Connor.
Great box out by Donovan Hunter.
Here is Hunter. And there is Van Lith. It is Van Lith, right? She is tiptoeing through the lane. See, we get some exercise in here today. Like, my core is going to be really strong, and yours too, because we're going back and forth here, because Mark's, he must get like 25,000 steps in a game.
Yeah,
in this game.
pretty close,
There he is.
yes.
He's setting another screen.
He's setting some really good screens for us. And you'd say, why not just look at your monitor, guys? Well, our monitor's on a little bit of a delay, so we're doing the best we can here.
Got whiplash. There's a 3. This is a different TCU team at the start of the second half than in the last few games. You can tell committed to stretching this lead out up to 19 now. Abraham seemed almost surprised that it came to her. Felder. Andrews. Little Page bugs for three. Another rebound for Prince. Connor. Baylor a little slow in recovering on defense. And now TCU will reset. Prince, Little Page bugs, did the best she could, but it wasn't enough against Sedona Prince. A chance for a three-point play, and this crowd loves it.
I enjoy watching Sedona Prince play basketball. This is a 6'7" young woman who has really good versatility. Of course, she can score over smaller players inside, can face up, can make the stank face when she gets the and one opportunity. But especially the passing. I just love bigs who can pass. And she's overcome so many injuries throughout the course of her career to just even be on the floor.
Including last year when she suffered a broken ring finger on her shooting hand, one of many TCU players that were injured a season ago. She missed 13 games. She's having quite the afternoon here in Fort Worth. Andrews, nothing coming easy for Baylor, but a trip to the free throw line coming for the Bears. When we come back, TCU stretching it out here in the third quarter, and Sedona Prince leading the cheers here in Fort Worth.
And then when Mark Campbell took the job here at TCU, he was telling us earlier today, the night after his press conference, Sedona got in touch with him about coming back to play. So just really enjoying getting a chance to watch her again, especially somebody who has experienced so many injuries.
You can see after the very slow start, Sedona's made up for lost time here today, averaging 24 points a game over the last 5 games.
I mean, she was 2018 high school grad, and other people who were in that graduating class, including Melissa Smith, who played at Baylor, have played three years of basketball in the WNBA already. You see right there.
We didn't think this graphic was right. Of course, Caitlin Urca and our crew, they knew it was right. We're like, no, wait, but yes, this is the same group of kids, now adults, who graduated from high school in 2018, and that's when Sedona Prince graduated. Van Lith won't drop. Little Page Bugs has the rebound. What does Baylor need to do to get back into this game, Rebecca?
Well, they got to get some stops on the defensive end, so we just saw one there. And they had success doing what we just saw. Attacking the paint in the first half, using some quickness from their perimeter players to get inside. They also have to get some threes to fall as well. That was one area that picked up for them in the second quarter. But defensively, they got to get some stops.
Prince on the turnaround. Get another stop, another rebound for Little Page Bugs.
2 stops in a row, you know. TCU shooting over 50%, and 8 of 12 from 3 has been ridiculous today by TCU.
TCU normally 37%. They make 10 threes a game, so it's a big part of their offense. Bonlay inside the three-point line. Well, they got a stop and a score and a stop and a score.
Did you see the screen by Sarah Andrews on Sedona Prince there to get Bonlay open for that shot? No, you didn't. No, it was on the other end. You could have seen that one.
Here's Van Lith working with Prince. Feels like out of that media timeout, Baylor's up the defensive intensity, but they didn't have an answer for Taylor Bigby on that drive.
Really good job by Bigby there. There was space in the middle of the floor as Prince occupied the left block.
Felder trying to take Van Lith off the dribble. Felder launches a 3, so Baylor starting to heat up a little bit here in the third quarter. A 9-2 burst here by the Bears. Prince, strong finish.
It's nice to have a 6'7" bailout.
She's got 20. 13th time this season she's gone for 20 or more. 3-time Big 12 Player of the Week this season. And she's got another rebound. 20 and 12 with 3 assists for Prince. And by the way, a couple of blocks to give her 200 in her career. Van Lith. Little too much on the handle and then lost it. Little Paige Buggs takes it to the basket. And a foul is going to be called on TCU's Donovan Hunter.
That was a lot of up and down action the last few possessions. You see some players with their hands on their hips trying to catch their breath.
Nikki Collins' team has won 6 in a row in Big 12 play. Their most recent game was the loss to UCLA non-conference on Monday. Little Paige Buggs at the free throw line, 71% on the season. Another one to come. Coming up tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Our X Games coverage wraps up with a 2.5-hour best of special. That's coming up this evening. Little Paige Buggs is 0 for 7 from the floor, but 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Now some pressure from Baylor.
Yeah, an opportunity after the made free throw to pick up full court pressing.
Bonlay on the switch. Kick to the corner to Connor. Three-pointer won't drop. Little Paige Buggs fighting for the rebound. And a good save to Felder. Felder. A little out of control as she took it at Bigby. And here comes TCU approaching a minute to play in the third. Connor for 2.
Connor's just had a solid all-around afternoon.
Whoa, tough finish by Jada Walker, and a chance for a 3-point play. First points of the second half for the senior point guard. Hunter's third.
You see Baylor trying to play with pace whenever they corral the board, or even off of a make from TCU. Understanding right now they got a deficit to make up.
Here's Walker at the free throw line. Second year with the Bears. Good first season last year. Started all 34 after playing at Kentucky. Once again, the pressure after the make. Connor to the middle for Bigby. Bigby, offensive foul. Yaya Felder showing some of that Connecticut toughness in taking the charge.
Attacking the basket for Bigby, and Yaya Felder just coming over. There was an elbow extended, which is the reason the offensive foul was called. Felder out of West Hartford, Connecticut, went to Conard High School. They have a big game this coming Wednesday against two-time defending state champion Northwest Catholic.
You don't get that kind of analysis everywhere, folks. There's Felder who got knocked down, no call. Still Baylor basketball. Wild scramble for it. Mafaru comes out of nowhere to pick it up. Shot clock down to 7. Walker leans inside. Prince with the swats, but a foul is called up. And that will send Baylor to the free throw line.
I think this last possession would be the definition of frenetic. Oh, yeah. Sedona Prince gets a lot of face of Walker on that shot block attempt. She earned that foul.
Well, Baylor chipping away after falling behind by 22 here in the third quarter. Getting it done at the free throw line. 9 for 9 from the line here in the third are the Bears. And once again, Walker, a little bit too much, trying to knock it away from Connor. She gets called for the foul. That's her third personal. Baylor not over the limit yet with 16.8 to go in the third. Felder gets called for the foul. That'll be number 4. So again, no free throws. Next one will put Baylor over the limit. Oh, correction, 5 team fouls now. They just announced in the building, so that's 5.
I feel like this full court press, though, has been really good at giving Baylor energy. You know, hasn't necessarily turned TCU over or anything like that, but it's just provided a different level of energy on the defensive end for Baylor.
It's also changed the momentum of this third quarter because there was a moment there where it looked like TCU was ready to run away with it. But now Baylor has chipped away. They've been outscored by just 1 here in the third quarter. And you know Baylor knows what's happened with TCU in recent games where they've had double-digit halftime leads and have been unable to hold on to those leads. They picked up a couple of wins, but most recently up by 15 at halftime to Oklahoma State. And Nikki Collin pointed that out, really like what Oklahoma State did in the second half against TCU. Turned that game around, and it was a win for the Cowgirls over TCU.
And one of the things Oklahoma State did was start extending their pressure.
Here's Walker. Can't get it to drop, and Prince pulls down the rebound, and that should do it for the third quarter. Well, TCU extended it out to 22, but right now it's 13 for TCU at the end of 3. And Sedona Prince getting it done again. 10 of her 20 points coming in the third quarter. Of Big 12 basketball.
Right, the Underfrogs adversity hit, and you guys decided to step up so we could continue our season. I appreciate you, Ella. Ella, you've earned a full ride scholarship.
Ella Hamlin, most popular person in that TCU locker room when they announced that she had gone from walk-on to scholarship player. You're familiar with the story. Middle of January last season, they had opened tryouts for the TCU student body after injuries, shortage of players, forced TCU to forfeit 2 conference games, 4 walk-ons. They became known as the Underfrogs. Joined the team. Ella came back for another year to be a part of the team now that they have a full roster. It was just injury, one thing after another. And, you know, Mark Campbell is very emotional in rewarding her the scholarship last week. It was almost the 1-year anniversary of after coming out of that 2-year suspension, but just showed you how much this program has been through in the last couple of years, turning around to be a team that is going to go to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2010. Felder comes up short, but it's saved nicely, but only for the moment by Matharu, and it's TCU basketball. Emanopu in trouble in the backcourt. Now out of trouble, and the lob for Prince, thrown up by Hunter. Felder, tough shot, tough finish. Yaya Felder, 2 more. Hunter with the ball in her hands. One of 2 sophomores on this roster. No freshmen on this TCU roster that's been built primarily through the transfer portal to get to where they are right now. Connor, no, bats it back out towards Van Lith. And a second chance here for TCU. Van Lith and a foul called on Little Paige Bugs. And as Van Lith stands up, Haley never one to back down from any kind of challenge. Leans into Little Paige Bugs a little bit, and now they're going to separate, or try to separate everybody. So Haley Van Lith will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Matharu will check out. Andrews back on for Baylor.
Baylor could really use for Sarah Andrews to catch fire, especially out from outside the three-point line again.
She had 13 points in the first half, just 2 in the third quarter. First points of the second half for Haley Van Lith. 14 points, 2 assists for Van Lith today. Felder. Prince is there defensively, as she always is. An elite rim protector, leading the country in block shots.
She does a really good job of tracking when she is the help side defender and recognizes as Felder's coming over that she just has to continue to move, works angles. Shot blockers want space. They don't want the offensive player to get into their body. Space is what allows them to get up and block the shot without fouling.
You just asked for it a moment ago, and Sarah Andrews delivers with the three-pointer. Sedona Prince with 3 blocks. 13th time this season she's gone for 3 or more. Now a 72 on the season to lead the country. Van Lith drops it down. Andrews on the crossover. Another 3 for Sarah Andrews. And she is indeed heating up a little bit.
Yeah, if you're defending Andrews now, you got to work really hard to get over the screen. Maybe you get some help from your big, but you cannot let her get hot from 3 if you're TCU.
Connor banks into 3. Palms up, shoulders shrug a little bit. On the shooter, doesn't matter, he'll drop. 19 now for Connor. Now Vonleh, hands full against Sedona Prince, and how about that finish? It's been a quiet afternoon for Erinette Vonleh, but she'll have a chance for a 3-point play. Before that, dueling 3-pointers from outside the arc before a chance for a conventional 3-point play.
We have 17 combined made 3s from these 2 teams today. Both of them have very capable shooters. Andrews, Connor.
Vonleh can't get the conventional 3-point play, so she'll settle for the 2. She's got 6. Back to a 12-point game. Connor. Felder knows she's got to stay outside the arc because Connor has unlimited range. And before the shot, Felder gets called for the foul, so no basket. Connor last season, one of those players that missed time with an injury, had an MCL injury, missed 6 games, still made 100 threes despite not playing a full season. Prince Emanopu, who was knocking down 3s in the first half, can't knock down the 2 in Little Page Bugs. And Felder got tangled up. There'll be TCU basketball. Van Lith to trigger the inbound inside of 6.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Baylor has won 37 in a row against TCU. The last TCU win was in 1990. Shot clock at 5. Off the mark from Connor. And here's Andrews. Running down the court, Little Page Bugs. Good 5 by Andrews. First field goal for Dariana. 10-point game. Van Lith looking for Prince. Finds her.
Good job by Van Lith to deliver the ball up high. We saw it a few possessions ago as well on kind of an alley-oop to Prince. She's 6'7". Give it to her high.
24 now for Prince. Fauntleroy. Vonleh from outside. Fauntleroy on the glass. The kick out. Open 3 on the way. Won't drop. And a foul called on Emma Nopu for TCU. No, correction, Connor is the one who gets whistled for the foul, so that's Connor with her second personal. Nikki Collins' team fell behind 17-2 to UCLA, played them even the rest of the way. They have not led here today. Trying to come back in the fourth on the road at TCU. To shoot. That three won't drop, and a foul is going to be called on Big B, I believe, for TCU. 4:59 to go in the fourth quarter.
A guard's primary job is to deliver the basketball to their big. We see it on one end, and then another. Connor and Van Lith and Prince have accounted for 59 of the 73 points. That's 81% of the scoring. On the season, they averaged 78% of the scoring, so they're a little bit above average. The officials during this timeout have been going through that last sequence. This is what they're looking at. Was there something extra from Taylor Bigby on what was originally called a common foul? I don't think there's anything extra. I think Bigby is trying to box out, and she has her arms up when she does so, and then when Fauntleroy goes down, it looks like, you know, Bigby may have shoved her, but I don't think from the angle that we had that that's the case at all. I think it should just remain a common foul. The officials are going to talk to the coaches. I love when they beckon them over, like with the finger, like you do to your kids when they're in trouble. They're going to do, they're not going to split things up. They're just going to have one conversation with the two head coaches. Rebecca just got an explanation. They deemed it unnecessarily and excessive, so they're going to upgrade it.
The previous play that went under review has been changed to an intentional foul for excessive contact.
So sort of a front box out. Yeah, I don't think she shoves her down. I think her, you know, she's there. Doesn't seem to me that she extends her arms. I think there's contact. Baylor player Fauntleroy goes down, and so it looks like more than it is to me. Okay. To me, that's Bigby just trying to box out. And it's a foul. I don't think it was unnecessarily or excessive.
Still trying to sort it out. You heard from Brian Hall a moment ago. Little Paige Bugs at the free throw line getting ready to shoot two. So they upgrade it. Chance here with everybody off the lane for Little Paige Bugs to shoot a couple. Baylor as a team has not been very good from the free throw line. Last in the Big 12, 67%. They've been pretty good today. 9 for 12 is Little Paige Bugs. Can't add to it. Still Baylor possession, though, after the upgrade on the foul. 4:59 to go. Plenty of time left here for Nikki Collins' team. Andrews has had the hot hand, 21 points, 5 of 7 from outside the three-point line. Walker on the bench at the moment, so Andrews running the show. Taking it at Prince.
Stormy Prince did a nice job there on the switch to kind of keep Andrews in front of her, still contest without fouling.
Van Lith working with Prince again. Here's Connor. Connor with a foot on the line. Can't get the two. Emma Nopu kept it alive, but just for the moment, here's Baylor. Back into the hands of Andrews, approaching 4 minutes to go here in the fourth. Bonley working hard against Prince.
2 possessions in a row where Sedona Prince has done a really nice job defensively. First on a switch on the guard, that time just containing her big.
launches the three. Littlepage Bugs with the rebound. 3.5 to go. Foul is going to be called on Hunter, bumping into Andrews. So Hunter has 4, Big B with 4. No one with more than 3 for Baylor at the moment in an 11-point game.
The TCU team that has only about a 7-8 player rotation. Foul trouble can matter.
Bonley spinning inside, can't get it to drop, and Prince gets called for the foul. So Baylor trying to get Vonleh working inside. Foul trouble could be an issue. Fatigue can be an issue for players who don't leave the floor very often, like Prince and Haley Van Lith. So Vonleh at the free throw line, 62% on the season. A reminder, coming up tomorrow, ESPN2, big showdown in the SEC. South Carolina and Tennessee in Knoxville. The coverage starts at 7 Eastern time.
I haven't seen Tennessee play this year. It's a really fun style of basketball. They press the whole game. They take a ton of threes.
Van Lith on the pull-up. Matharo with the rebound. Andrews is on the court. And a tie-up possession arrow will give it to TCU.
And unless you have like a layup or a really easy look, if I'm TCU, I'm taking a little bit of time off the clock. You want to stay aggressive, but you also want to be smart with clock management with a 10-point lead.
And on the tie-up, to do a full reset on the shot clock, take it up to 30, so a chance here to work some clock. Nursing a 10-point lead. Oh, Matharo with some quick hands. Picks Van Lith's pocket and gets the finish. Leah Matharo into double figures with 10. Two and a half to play. Connor trying to get free. Connor leans in with the left hand to finish and the foul.
Connor does an outstanding job, Eric, as she's driving left. Watch the right shoulder, the right arm. She protects the basketball, leans in, gets the contact, and the and one. She's able to have the good, clean look with the left because of what she does with the right side of her body.
Connor can't finish off the three-point play. Outstanding free throw shooter. Back to a 10-point game. Connor's got 21, Prince 24 to lead TCU. Von Leroy, count it! And a chance for a three-point play on Baylor's end.
Continuing to attack. We've seen that a lot from Baylor here this afternoon. What an absolutely beautiful finish there by Fauntleroy. That was a tough one as she was falling.
Fauntleroy picked a good time to get her first points of the game. Chance to add to it with 2:04 to go. Another missed free throw. 2 to go. Last foul on Eminoku, her second. Van Lith gets downhill on the pull-up. Short, Vonleh the rebound. Here's Andrews. Von Leroy dribbled it off her foot, but right to Andrews. Matharo defended by Van Lith. 8 to shoot. Matharo over Prince, gets it to drop. .12 for Matharo. 2-possession game here in Fort Worth. 1 minute. Van Lith came up short. Prince tried to knock it away, but it was last touched by TCU. Baylor basketball down by 6.
Since
timeout Baylor.
A minute, they can timeout in advance.
We'll take the timeout as well. Getting tight here in Fort Worth. Final minute.
The other call on the floor, that would have stood as well. There's just not enough to overturn it. Although I'm sure TCU fans feel like there was.
So it's Baylor ball on the side. Final minute here in Fort Worth. Trying to deny Andrews, who's been on the floor here in the fourth quarter running the show with Walker on the bench. Andrews gave it up. Jumper is good. Fauntleroy knocks down her second field goal of the quarter. Timeout called by TCU. They'll advance it in what is now a 4-point game in Fort Worth. In the fourth quarter, Baylor with one foul to give. They can get pretty aggressive right here on defense. You can see the run since just about the 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Baylor defensively trying to deny it. It gets in the corner, and there is foul number 1. That's it. So both teams in the bonus now with the next foul. TCU has been outscored in the second half in each of the last 3 games, including the most recent game when they were up by 15 at halftime against Oklahoma State and suffered their first conference loss. Van Lith is fouled by Matharu with 36.2 to go. Haley Van Lith, an 83% free throw shooter, and she's 4 for 4 today. Fifth-year senior from Washington State, who was first on Mark Campbell's radar when he was an assistant coach at Oregon. She decided to go to Louisville, but they stayed in touch. And then when she was looking for some place to finish her college career with a year of eligibility remaining, she came here to Fort Worth, and it's worked out great. 19-2 record, 7-1 in the Big 12. 1 of 2 free throws for Van Lith. Still a 2-possession game and a timeout called by Baylor. And they'll advance it to the front court. So, Rebecca Lobo, what jumps out to you about this Baylor team in this fourth quarter comeback? What's made the difference?
Well, first of all, on the defensive end, they have been much better, holding TCU to 14 points in this quarter. They've done some things well, attacking the basket, deciding when to go up strong at the rim, when to do the pull-up. Just making some big shots after getting big stops on the defensive end.
This is the first quarter where TCU has not shot at least 50% from the field. So to your point on the defense, what's been a hot shooting night all night for TCU has cooled off a little bit here in the fourth quarter. So TCU huddles up. They'll be on defense here. Baylor, 36.2 to go. Plenty of time left. Baylor with just 1 timeout remaining. TCU has 3 timeouts. You see that beat TCU button on her sweatshirt? That's all Baylor has known since 1990. 37 consecutive wins for Baylor over TCU. The last win for TCU was February 28, 1990. TCU trying to make it 18 straight wins at home, 15-0 this season, and looking for a 4th win over a ranked opponent, already with wins over NC State and Notre Dame and Utah. And as I mentioned, it's been a while since a Baylor team has lost to TCU.
I wouldn't be surprised here if Baylor looks to see if they can get an action that gets them a quick 3. You don't necessarily need a 3 already here, but with 1 timeout left, If you can get something early in the possession, if not, attack the glass. You've been good off the bounce, getting towards the rim, getting in the paint.
Andrews has been especially good tonight. 7 of 14 from the field, 21 points, 5 3-pointers. She'll trigger the inbound for the Bears. Matharu's seen extended run. She'll look for the three. That is short. Batted away from Van Lith into the hands of Connor, but out of bounds is TCU, so it's Baylor basketball. They will go to the monitor to confirm it. We'll get a first look.
Yeah, that's out of bounds. And going to the monitor gives Baylor a timeout that they no longer have to take. They can now, Nikki Collin can now draw up a play without using a timeout because of the monitor review.
On the floor is gold ball. That plays under review.
I think that's what I call, right? Connor hit the ball down and it was out of bounds. But the bigger thing in here is that Nikki Collin doesn't have to use her last timeout and she can draw up what she wants.
So the officials back at the monitor with 28.8 to go. You heard Brian Hall say gold ball, so the call on the floor, Baylor basketball. In the Big 12, the officials are the ones who control scrolling back through the replays, frame by frame. It's not a collaborative review in the Big 12, so it's all what they see.
After review, the call on the floor is Baylor ball. That is confirmed. We'll reset the clock to 30.1.
Now that's the other thing they're looking at to see if they're going to add any time, which they will. So 30.1 to go here in the fourth. Never fails. You'll get a bad call ref from the fans, even if there's indisputable video evidence otherwise. That's fans doing what they do. Officials having another conversation here, but now we're ready to go. 30.1 to go. Be Andrews on the baseline to put it into play for Baylor. For Matharu. Defended by Van Lith. Back to Vonleh. Deep two is good. Timeout called by TCU to advance it to the front court. 3-point game, so a one-possession game now here in Fort Worth. Walker will come back into the game for Baylor.
So a couple things if you're Baylor defensively here is you don't have to go for the foul right away. You know, of course, you first try to get the steal, but if you go for the jump ball, Baylor has the possession arrow. So if you can tie them up, do that. If you can't, then you foul.
Both teams over the limit. Baylor with that one timeout remaining. TCU down to 2 timeouts.
TCU, number one, has to inbound the ball cleanly. It's a luxury to have those 2 timeouts because if you don't see someone to inbound the ball to, you can use one of those.
Hunter will put it into play. Had trouble getting it in and got a timeout just in time. It was called by Mark Campbell, who is standing right next to the official. One timeout remains for each team. Baylor has outscored TCU 24-14 here in the fourth quarter. The Bears have shot 50% from the floor this quarter. TCU, 38%. TCU trying to hang on their home floor.
Baylor with 21 more field goal attempts on the day than TCU because they've been able to turn TCU over. They've gotten to the offensive glass.
Baylor would love to force a 17th TCU turnover right here. Once again, it's Hunter. Finds Van Lith, trapped near half court, and the reach in and a foul is called. Walker and Matharu got there aggressively to try to take it away from Van Lith.
They wanted the jump ball. They knew that the arrow was in their favor. They were trying to get the jump ball there, but the foul was called instead. Let's take a look. It's a tough place to inbound to, right there, because you're kind of on the side. I think it was the right arm of Walker kind of was...
Because Matharu's hand was on the ball.
The right arm of Walker was hitting Haley Van Lith's right arm.
$18 points for Haley Van Lith, 24 for Sedona Prince. Doesn't look like Baylor's going to use the timeout here. TCU drops back, so they'll keep that timeout in their pocket. Walker with the quick push. Matharu defended by Connor. Matharu to the basket for two. Timeout called by TCU. Aaliyah Matharu with 14 points, 8 coming in the second half. And it's back to a one-possession game. TCU has used their final timeout. So more of the same. TCU will have it inbounded in front of their bench.
Hey, that's why you got to turn early. Just go
Let's
find
listen
her.
in.
As soon as the ref give her the ball, turn. All right? Go find her and help Tatum. Tatum, run her ass off every three. All right? And we're gonna steal it. Get your hands up, try to steal it when he come in. All right? Then go down to the score. Everybody got that. I need to...
Tony Green with the first instructions in the huddle, and now Nikki Collin will settle in.
The biggest difference for TCU here is that they don't have a timeout. They don't have the luxury of the timeout if they're not able to inbound the basketball. So whatever they draw up, it's got to be clean, and they've got to make that first pass. Baylor, of course, same thing. Try to get the jump ball first. If you can't, then quickly foul. Steal, jump ball, foul. That's the order of it.
Last two times that TCU was trying to get in, they had to take a timeout. As Rebecca mentioned, they don't have a timeout remaining, and then there was almost the tie-up. A foul was called last time they got it in.
Keep in mind, you can inbound into the backcourt.
Thrown up and knocked out of play. Last touched by Baylor. Doesn't look like they're going to go to the monitor here.
I think you can cleanly inbound it into the backcourt.
I think they will go to the monitor. It just makes sense. It was close.
Same thing at the other end. This gives Mark Campbell instead, because he had just told his team run the same thing. Now he doesn't have to. He gets a timeout that he
Purple ball, that plays under review.
without calling a timeout to draw something up for his team.
But if Baylor, you take the chance to say, well, maybe replay shows something different. Did it go off Sedona Prince here?
No, that's off of Baylor. And there's nothing to lose. It's not like in the WNBA where it's a challenge that you might win or lose the challenge.
It's a request.
And the officials should do it. I'm just saying, one of the unintended consequences is that both of these teams now have gotten a timeout in an important moment of the game.
Play on the court stands.
So, looked like it was last touch by Andrews. 15 seconds on the clock.
And if they hadn't gotten that opportunity to draw it up, and it's the same as the last play, well, then of course Baylor knows what you just did and how they can try to help it. Very different look right now on this inbound.
Absolutely. Much different look, Rebecca. Now they're closer to half court. They're looking more towards the backcourt. They throw it into Emanoku, and Andrews gets called for the foul. Back behind the play, Connor and Van Lith are down in front of the Baylor bench. They got tangled up with Fauntleroy. The foul is called on Baylor. It's going to be 2 free throws for TCU. But what happened in front of the Baylor bench? It's just dominoes falling, it looks like.
Obviously huge to make one of these
Emanopu has not been at the free throw line very often this season, but she's done the job here today. She was 3 for 5 on the season entering this game. She's 3 for 3 this afternoon. What's happening here? Because the first free throw has been taken. Now the officials are getting together to have a conversation.
I don't think any of them saw the dominoes that you referred to on that side of the floor, and I think they're trying to figure out if they're going to go and look at it now.
Can they do that after a free throw? I know no time has gone off. Here's Brian Hall. He's not going to make an announcement. He's going to go right to the monitor.
So I think what they're looking at is what happened in the backcourt there. And to me, there's nothing. They're bodies that go down, but it's incidental contact.
Play on the court stands.
Brian's had enough with the announcements. So we're going to assume that's what they were looking at. It's just odd that it came after a made free throw.
I'm sure Nopo is thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. If you're Mark Campbell,
hitting my
why are we icing my shooter with another replay review for something that happened before she took the free throw? Baylor will use their final timeout. So Emanopu misses it. Now it's a 2-possession game, so things are a lot different now. 12.7 to go. It's Baylor ball. They've used their final timeout, but just making the one free throw helps here. And the officials are going to go back to the monitor here, I think, just to make sure they got the right time on the clock. It says 12.7 right now. Both teams huddling up for the last time for a timeout call. It may not be the last time they huddle up today if our current pace continues with replay reviews and getting these free timeouts to huddle up.
There have been a plethora of replay reviews, and here Baylor will look to go for a 3. They don't have timeouts where they can advance the basketball anymore, so you've got to try to get a quick hitting 3 and then a steal or a quick foul when TCU inbounds the ball. Who is also without timeouts. They also cannot advance it.
So they're going to put a little bit of time back on the clock here. They're going to go from 12.7 and push it up to 13.3. See the reset, though. No fouls to give, no timeouts, importantly. So no longer the opportunity to take a timeout and advance it for Baylor. Back to Rebecca's point. 2-possession game, 4-point game. You got to look for the 3 here pretty quickly because you're running out of time. Andrews got tangled up in traffic. She'll launch the 3. Couldn't get it. The rebound for TCU, and Andrews gives the foul. 6 seconds to go. If you're Baylor, you love the look you got. It was with the player who's had the hottest hand here today, and it was a pretty good look, just wouldn't drop. To the free throw line.
But with it still being a 2-possession basketball game, only 6 seconds, no timeout in advance. TCU just has to be really smart here defensively.
Here's Andrews, pulls up from inside the half court, and that will do it. The drought is over. For the first time since February of 1990, TCU has defeated Baylor. Baylor made it interesting in the fourth quarter, but TCU holds on. Haley Van Lith with 19 points. Sedona Prince leading the way, 24 points, 14 rebounds. And Agnes Eminopu had 12 and 10 in a strong performance for TCU. The 37-game losing streak against Baylor is over as TCU wins it by a final score of 80-75. So TCU does it. They knock off Baylor. Thank you for watching this presentation of Big 12 basketball on ESPN. Now out to Tempe for Arizona and Arizona State Gymnastics.